Good morning, students. Today I am explaining about this topic Foundation of Indian National Congress, its aims. Indian National Congress was founded in December 1885 due to the efforts of A.O. Hume, W.C. Banerjee, and others. On 28th December 1885, in the hall of Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College, the first National Congress meet under the presidency of W.C. Banerjee and A.O. Hume and K.T.T. Tilak were elected as secretaries a national political organization which was to guide subsequently India's struggle for freedom had come into existence. The birth of the Congress was the most significant event in the history of Indian struggle for freedom. The following were the main objectivities as by the president of the season, W.C. Banerjee. The first point, the development of close relations between the national workers, and second point, the dissolution for race, creed, and provincial among the lovers of the country, and further development and consolidation of the feeling of national unity among them. Third point, the recording of the conclusions on vital Indian problems reached by educated Indians after earnest discussions of these problems. And fourth one is outlining of the program of work for the next year. It was attended by almost all outstanding leaders of Indian nationalism. 17th delegates attended the session. The most important among them were Firozshah Mehta, Dadabhai Nauroji, Divansha Vacha, and W.C. Apte, P. Rangaya Naidu, P. Anantacharyu, Subramanya Iyer from Madras, and Keshava Pillai from Anantapur. Among the representative there were editors of the well-known newspapers like Indian Mirror, the the Hindu, the Tribune, etc. The delegates of Indian National Congress consisted mostly of lawyers, journalists, industrialists, traders, teachers, and landlords. Dadabhai Nauroji was the first Indian leader to draw the attention of the fact the British policy was draining India's wealth. His his reign theory received good response from educated Indians. He expressed his views in the book Poverty and British Rule in India. It states that India is suffering seriously in several ways and is sinking in poverty. He was popularly known as a grand old man of India. First one, moderate phase 1885 to 1905. After the establishment of Indian National Congress in 1885, the Western educated Indians like Dadabhai Nauroji, Bhadradhan Swabji, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, and others support with the support of Englishmen like A.O. Hume and Lord Dufferin tried to draw the attention of British towards the issues of the Indians. They believed in the principle of prayer, petition, and protest. The first 20 years in the history of National Congress is discussed as its moderate phase. The Congress meet at the end of each year for 3 days. It was like a social occasion and political assembly. Along with presidential address and numerous speeches were heard. The speeches were given always in English and dispersed after passing roughly similar set of resolutions dealing with three broad types of grievances: political, administrative, and economic. The principal political demand was reforms of supreme and local legislative council to give them greater powers of budget discussion and interpretation and to make them representative. Among administrative reforms, the main demand of moderates was the Indianization of services. So, simultaneous ICS examinations in England and India. This demand was advocated as blow against regime. It would also reduce drain of wealth so for as much of the fat salaries and pensions enjoyed by the white officials were being remitted to England. It would also make the administration more responsive to Indian needs. Other administrative reforms included separation of judiciary, extension of trial by repeat of the Arms Act, higher jobs higher jobs for Indians in the army, plea of racial equality combined with a concern for civil rights. Economic issues realized very about general poverty of India, drain of wealth theme. Resolutions very repeatedly positive calling for an equality into India's growing poverty and famines, demanding cuts in home charges and military expenditure, more funds for technical education to promote Indian industries, and an end to unfair tariff and excise duties. Issues conserving the salt tax treatment of India. Coolies abroad suffering caused by the Forest Administration, very raised in the Congress resolutions. Moderate leaders tended to be in their personal life and highly successful men in their professions. The first bred ambivalent attitude towards Englishmen, with criticism of specific policies balanced by general and even a belief in admiration the providential nature of British rule. People like Nauroji and Dadabai Nauroji Tilak were very busy with their profession work. They were very rich. Many congressmen had development a highly elitist lifestyle. Recent research has brought out the connections between the early Congress professional, intelligent and profitable groups. A few industrialists in Bombay, commercial magnates like the Tanders of Allahabad, landholders or tenure holders, particularly everywhere such groups were not literally to support radical programs are on restrained mass agitation. So the extremist phase 1905 to 1919. The Indian National Congress and its moderate leaders were said to have failed in achieving their goals. This caused dissatisfaction among the young leaders of INC. INC means Indian National Congress against both the Congress and British policies. Thus, a new trend in the Congress emerged that challenged the moderate methods followed by the Congress leaders. They criticized the moderate policy of prayers, petitions, and protest. They proclaimed Swaraj as their ultimate goal. Balagangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, and Aurobindo Ghosh, very prominent leaders of this phase. In 1907, Sura season of the Congress, the two groups clashed openly and broke up into two camps. This is properly known as Sura split. Split. Partition of Bengal Vande Mataram movement. In 1905, Lord Curzon, the then Governor General, announced the partition of Bengal. It was officially announced on July 4th, 1905, but came into the effect from the 16th October 1905. The people of Bengal opposed the partition of Bengal because it divided the Bengalis, Hindus and Muslims. The way the partition was done clearly showed the device policy of the British. There were widespread protests following his announcement. Initially, the protest was on the lines of the prayer and petition tactics of the moderates, but later, as soon as the final announcement was made, Bengal broke out in protest. The meeting were held all over Bengal and most significantly not only in the Calcutta but also in the smaller towns in the interiors of Bengal. The decision to boycott British goods was taken up for the first time in one of these meetings. Formal proclamation of the Swadeshi movement was made on August 7, 1905, with the passing of the boycott resolution in a meeting at the Calcutta Town Hall, which brought about the unification of the Hyderabad disparate leadership. People of Bengal declared 16th October as the day of mourning. It was observed as a day of fasting. The song of Vande Mataram, written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, was which frequently quoted in his novel Anand Mat, was sung by a crowd on the moment. The Vande Mataram that person personifies the country as mother, offers salutes to her and glorifies her. Thus, the song became a great source of inspiration to the agitators. The song, which was already known to many as prayer song of Congress meetings. The Vande Mataram also became the prayer song for the meetings of anti-petition movement. The phrase Vande Mataram became the slogan for the agitators during the demonstration, picking, etc. Many leaders and agitators were arrested. The British used the brutal police force to crush the movement, but it lost its control over the movement. This peculiar from half mass protest. This from this peculiar from of mass protest of Swadeshi and boycott attained popularity among the extremists of the Congress, who were more important than the moderate to see a positive response to their efforts. Lokamanya Tilak took the message of Swadeshi Swadeshi and the boycott of foreign goods to Bombay and Pune. Ajit Singh and Lajpat Rai to Punjab and other parts of northern India. Syed Hyder Raza and Delhi and Chidambaram Pillai to Madras. Presidency which was also motivated by Bipin Chandra Pal's extensive lecture tours. The Swadeshi movement gave a great deal of encouragement to Indian Swadeshi textiles Swadeshi stores which were opened at various parts of India. Finally, the colonial uh, finally the colonial government was compelled to withdraw compelled to withdraw the partition in the from in which they had envisaged it. However they did try to decrease the importance of Calcutta and hence the intellectuals of Bengal by shifting the capital to Delhi in 1911. Developments in India 1912 to 1919. After the cancellation of Bengal partition orders in 1911, the British officials released the leaders from prison. The Minto Marley Reforms Act of 1909 failed in satisfying the Congress leaders in 1914. The First World War has broken out. England was fighting against Germany and its allies. In India, revolutionaries made attempts to overthrow British rule. At the same time, Balagangadhar Tilak and Anibisent launched Home Rule movement demanding self-government powers to Indians within the British Empire. The unification of Congress and Muslim League gave good strength to Home Rule movement. As the result, again the British officials used military force to suppress the movement. Anibisent and Tilak were arrested in 1916. The movement lasted till 1918 as the First World War came to an end. The British released the leaders. It announced the Montague-Chelmsford Act of 1990 to satisfy Indians. Gandhian era 1920 to 1947. The year 1919 marked an important landmark in the history of Indians struggle for freedom. It witnessed the entry of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi into the Indian political arena. With him came a new spirit and a new technique. Before his arrival in India, he fought for the Indians in South Africa. The successful agitation was against the discriminating legislation passed against the non-whites by the government of general in South Africa. His novel method of satyagraha or passive resistance had yielded good results. He adopted the same technique to relieve the distress of the peasants of Champaran in Bihar and half Kheda in Gujarat. He was the right leader and best suited for the India when the government was arming itself with extraordinary armed power to check the rising tide of Indian nationalism. In 1917, Gandhi settled the dispute regarding wages between the mill workers and mill owners in Ahmedabad. Even Harry Gandhi adopted a peaceful and non-violent method. He came to be acknowledged as the leader of the working class. Thus, towards the beginning of 1918, the Freedom Government was assuming a new dimension. Next one, Rowlatt Satyagraha. Rowlatt Satyagraha was organized in 1919. It was so called because it was directed against Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act was passed The Rowlatt Act was passed by the Government of India in 1990. The Act empowered the executive to deport individuals, to set special tribunals to control the press and to adapt to others repressive measures. Gandhi appealed to the Viceroy was to withhold his consent to the bill went unheeded. Therefore, Gandhi started the passive resistance movement against the Revolt Act in 1919. The people very called upon the disobey the new law by non-violent methods. Next one, fact and developments of Rowlatt Satyagraha.